All right, good afternoon. Welcome to DII Ukulele Live Workshop. If this is your first time, my name is Daniel Tim Tim, and I am the ukulele representative here at Dave's Island Instruments, and I'm excited. Actually, today is an awesome day because this is, I have a guest today, and I think you guys know. And just to let you know, I met Lenny at, I think it was NAMM, and it was like in the beginning of when I was first starting ukulele, and I knew he was one of the awesome YouTube guys and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just amazing, like, that we're gonna have him here on the show. So, but before that, this is our welcome to the DII channel, and if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe down below if you can. And I think we have some good stuff in the description, so check those out. There's some links probably to music charts, stuff like that. But I don't want to leave Lenny waiting, so without further ado, let's bring on Mr. Ukulenny. What's up, my brother?
What's up? What's up?
Wait,
What's up?
we need to give
up?
the applause. The applause.
Oh yeah. Woo! Yeah.
Here we got another one.
Oh, that's nice.
Awesome. Uh-oh. I hear some. We hear. Where's that coming for?
What's happening? Is something happening now?
Oh wait. Oh, I had my YouTube on. That was crazy. Sorry about that.
Yes. I was like,
that was weird.
That happened.
Sorry,
That happened.
tech stuff, man. Sorry. That was funny. That was like a total. But anyways, welcome, Lenny. I know we got to talk a little bit. We got cut off the other night, like during our sound check, but we just had like a little network thing. But man, I am so excited to have you here, straight from Oakland, you guys. And here with DII, we have the great Ukulenny. And man, wow, hasn't it been a crazy year?
Yes, it has definitely been a crazy year, and thank you for having me on the show here. I mean, here we are in separate boxes on the internet, talking to each other. This kind of stuff, as cool as it is, like, never really happened before the pandemic, not in the way that it does now. So, in a way, there's a lot of happy things that have happened as a result. But of course, we're just wanting to get out there and be hanging out in person at some point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I kind of alluded it. We met at NAMM, and then along the way as I was playing ukulele, because I do video, and I remember hanging out with you and Cynthia. Where else? LA Uk Fest, or the LA Ukulele Festival.
The Los Angeles International Ukulele Festival. Shout out to Mitch Chang, who runs that gig.
Absolutely.
And I remember, I know I've probably met you before, but it was that show that we did with Cynthia in that auditorium. It was like a strum along, and I remember you were all on the video and the audio and doing your thing. So and then later at NAMM for sure.
Yeah, you had like an instructor. If you guys don't know, Ukulenny is one of the top instructors, I think, in one in the world, I guess.
Stop.
No, you have a great.
Keep going.
Honestly, you have a great following. I follow you a lot in what you do. I actually use some of your songs in my 100-day uk thing that I'm doing right now. And it's amazing because, even though the ukulele is very popular right now in the world, there is a small community of people like you that just share music. And that's why one of the reasons why I like to bring you on, because here at DII we just kind of want to like share the best that's out there, and you're one of the best. So thank you for being on, Lenny, and I appreciate everything you do. It's pretty awesome.
Shucks, you're making me blush. Stop it. Can't turn away. Blur the cameras.
So for those of you guys that are listening, this is a great opportunity for you guys to ask questions. So please leave your comments in the or questions in the comments, and I will bring them up as we go along. But actually, let's start with some questions. Actually, One is, you've been doing this for a long time. I was checking out your YouTube channel. You go back like 12 years doing YouTube videos. It's so funny when you see you, you're like super young.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Back when I still had a neck, you know.
Too much Olympia? Is it?
You know, I've gotten complacent in my old age.
No, that's awesome. Like, tell me a little bit about that. Did you start on YouTube for like the ukulele stuff, or were you like, where did it all begin for you?
Yeah, it was interesting because, you know, I've always been a musical person, and, you know, growing up I played the piano, guitar, and eventually the cello, which I got standing back there trying to humble brag over there, show off the cello now.
Yes.
You know, I got to college and I was studying music, and so I would do little YouTube videos here and there. You know, on my guitar, I would play some covers and stuff, and that was fun. But when I discovered the ukulele, when the ukulele kind of hit me near the end of college, about 2008, I was thinking that, oh, this is fun. It's a portable instrument. I used to take it on the field while I was in marching band. I would just like play ukulele for a bit, you know, just kind of mess around with the uke. And I was learning all of Jake Shimbukuro's of arrangements and doing that.
What year was this? What year?
This is 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
And that's when the start happened. Actually, my claim to fame is I started ukulele playing on the BART train, which is like public transportation.
Yeah, I've been on the BART.
Yeah, and I would just play, and sometimes everyone would sing along. And I got really excited about the fact that I had this boombox, you know, my ukulele boombox that I could play music anywhere I went and rile up a crowd and play on a street corner, open up the case, make some money, you know, do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so around that time, maybe 2010, 2011, was when I started putting YouTube videos up, and it was this really simple tutorial of I'm Yours, you know, just the 4 chords, C.
I saw that one, yeah.
A minor, F, you know, that was my first real, like, foray into tutorial land, and it was a hit, you know, people started watching, and it was like, you know, 500 views and 1,000, and I was like, oh, people are actually watching, and pretty soon, you know, it would rack up the views and the subscribers. So for me, that was like YouTube fame right there. Like, I was surprised that anybody would watch my video, and that's when I realized that there was a market or a real chance to build a following in YouTube tutorials. Back then it was, so Jake went viral in like, you know, late 2000 or the 00s, I guess.
Yeah.
So
he was the first viral video. That was so crazy.
Yeah,
like,
that's so crazy that he has that claim to fame.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, an ukulele player of all people. Right?
Of all, it's crazy.
Of all the things out there now. And then, you know, when I was doing the videos, it was really just me and the ukulele teacher who's still doing stuff. Shout out John Atkins.
John Atkins.
The charge for ukulele tutorials and things like that.
Oh, nice.
And so I like to consider myself, even though I'm kind of like in the background now on YouTube, I'm kind of like an OG. I call myself OG. It was me.
No, you were doing this
John
before.
and freaking Aldrine. Aldrine was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, Ukulele Underground, Ukulele Overstole.
Yeah,
you know, he was really like the godfather there. When it came to the online tutorials, and the rest is history. I became Ukulenny just by virtue of being on YouTube and starting to have people, you know, recognize what I was doing. I was so surprised the first time I was just walking around in SoCal one day, and someone was like, "Hey, are you Ukulenny?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm a star!" You know, I'm a star eyes emoji.
You are a star.
Yeah,
awesome.
it's pretty fabulous. It's pretty fabulous that this is even possible. And nowadays, you know, with social media, like, there's a lot of that happening around, which I think is so awesome that people can really make a name for themselves, or, you know, and yet that was never the intention. You know, to bring it back, like, it was really just about sharing the craft and sharing some stuff. I was training to be a teacher, so this was kind of like part of my MO, part of my
training.
Really being is to teach other people ukulele. And the rest is history.
It's weird that you say that, because I feel the same way, even though I've been playing like only 5 years, and it's weird to be in a position like, you know, you're helping people with their music and stuff like that, and that's why I applaud you, because you touch a lot of people. You know, and it's pretty awesome, because I looked at all your views. It's just hundreds of thousands of people, and then I see your workshops, and, you know, there's probably some people watching that are on your workshops right now, and They're super fun. You know, you love to jam. We got to jam the other day. I was like, whoa, let's go. That was super. I was like, wow, like technology nowadays, I can't believe we can like talk without, it's weird right now. So I'm like, oh my God. Instead of waiting, what did you say? What did you say?
Sure. Yeah.
So awesome. Well, you know what? I love, you know, that's one of the things that I find in teaching is people don't see where, like, right now, where you, like, how good you are in ukulele and all the instruments that you play. Actually, that would be a question. Why the ukulele? Because you play a lot of instruments. So
Right.
I think on your,
Yeah.
I was reading your bio, it was like 12 instruments. But that's awesome because I believe it's not about the instruments, about music. But why ukulele?
Definitely. I mean, I think that's part of it. Is that when you become, you know, a fully fledged musician, you earn your wings. You start to realize that it doesn't matter what's in your hands. You can make music out of it. You know, whether it's a 4-string, a 6-string back there, or a rubber band. You know, you're making music. Like that's always been kind of like first and foremost to me is just making music, and it started with the voice. I love singing. I'm not a great singer, you know. I'm still continuing to work on the craft of vocals, but I've always loved singing, and so from singing comes all this kind of transformation where you're thinking about what you want the music to be with your voice, and you are translating that through these various mediums of instruments. So for me, it's almost like it doesn't matter what instrument you're holding, just as long as you're able to make the music. So, you know, like I said, I studied guitar in school, and I studied classical guitar. So that's where I get a lot of my training that I've brought onto the ukulele is from learning guitar, and played saxophone, which is my favorite wind instrument. So that's kind of like the path that I go when it comes to winds is saxophone. But all the other wind instruments are accessible once you learn a wind instrument. So I accumulated all these instruments in my training, and it always came back to the ukulele because the ukulele makes it so that you can go anywhere and sing a song. Like I always make the joke that if I were to go on a street corner and just sing by myself, people think I'm crazy. You know, like what are you doing singing on the street corner? But if I had an instrument, then people are like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're performing. You know, like you have an instrument. Right. And so the ukulele became like an excuse to make music, and not seem so strange. You know, I could bring it everywhere. And just play, whether it's an instrumental or I could sing along, and it was my travel instrument. And as I got to teaching, you know, I studied to be a music teacher, and my background was orchestra and band. And so I thought I would be an orchestra and band teacher, and then maybe this ukulele thing would happen on the side. But as I started to do it more, I started to realize that this was the best teaching instrument I had. I was good at teaching ukulele. And it was so easy to start people off on the ukulele, and like 5 minutes later, we're playing music.
Wow!
And you know, you could do that with a trumpet or a flute, but like you know, the flute might take like 3 weeks to learn a song, and the ukulele was like, hey, you got 5 minutes? Come here, let me teach you 3 chords. That was amazing. I mean, like that blew my mind that was possible, and the fact that you can teach any level of music. You can go from beginner to absolute advanced, you know, Mixolydian mode. You could study jazz on the ukulele. You could study sharp 7, flat 9, flat 13, whatever. I thought this is the perfect instrument for me because it goes through all the phases. You're teaching singing, you're teaching melody, you're teaching chord melody, which I learned in college, but like it was really hard on the guitar. It's really easy on the ukulele. And I don't know, it just made so much sense. It's like I taught for 5 years, and I always kick myself in the head for not bringing the ukulele to the forefront more during those years, because it is one of the best teaching instruments there is, and everybody can use the ukulele as a bridge to other music. Like once you learn the uke, you can start to talk about music in general and learn another instrument. And I think that's fun.
Dude, you're absolutely right. It's so crazy because like when I first started playing ukulele, and then I started playing handpan, and like learning both of them at the same time because you have like a percussion melody, and it kind of translates all together, which is like super awesome. And now I do have a flute. I got a Native American flute. I have the guitar. It's like sitting up here. It's so funny. A piano. Actually, that's been fun. I've been working my fingers on the piano, and that's been fun. But yeah, it's all about music. So awesome. That was a great way to explain why the ukulele. Coming from you as being a teacher, that's amazing. So yeah, let me see it.
Sorry, my kid is trying to motion to me that my phone is dead, so I have to charge it. Come here.
Go here, go. Say hi. Say hi.
Maybe she'll come later. I think she's sharing.
Oh gosh.
She'll probably say goodbye when it's time to say goodbye.
Nice. Well, we are here. Like, this is an ukulele workshop. Usually, my thing is to teach people how to teach themselves how to play ukulele. Things like that. And I loved your story. Actually, there's so much more to your story. If you guys haven't seen, check out his website. Here's his website. And there he is, and you have his full story, which is awesome right here. So definitely go to ukulenny.com, check him out. I know there's a bunch of workshops that you do online. There's a lot. You're doing a lot. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now.
That's what everyone says. I mean, I don't feel like I'm doing a lot. I think that's kind of been my history, is to do a lot. So right now, it doesn't even seem like that much. So just a little background. Before this all started, lockdown, shelter in place, I was pretty much doing restaurants, 2 or 3 times a week. I would do the occasional wedding gig, occasional private party. I was a, ukulele for hire. Mm-hmm. And I was also just teaching lessons at my house. So I was doing all 3 of those things throughout the week. So that was busy. and then when the pandemic started, we had to cancel everything, in-person classes. All these restaurants were closing down. So I wasn't able to play out anymore. I canceled. Most of my wedding gigs were postponed or canceled.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So even when it started, when we didn't know how long it was going to be, I was like, you know what? Let's just do something, because now everybody's at home. So what are they going to do? And for me, what am I going to do? So it was this thing where it's like, you know what? I'm just going to go online and be live and make music so that people have something to do. And Zoom came around, and Zoom was kind of the medium that was becoming more and more popular. So I was like, okay, let's do a Zoom jam. And that just kind of blew up, because I started having people come from all over the country, or even, several countries outside, we have people in Argentina and Brazil and Australia and Canada coming to these Zoom rooms. And, 1 year later, we're still doing it. It's like, we didn't know how long it was going to be. And I just made myself available to it. I just said, I have a Friday gig that I used to play at the Oakland airport on Fridays.
Yeah,
so
I saw that.
Just go out there and busk at the airport.
That's so awesome.
It's a great gig. I mean, it's so fun. You get to see people come off come out into the baggage claim.
I know. Whenever I travel, I play in the airport. It's amazing, because people are stressed out, man, and they love the music.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing anyway. So it's like, why not, open a case and make some money for In-N-Out later.
Yeah, exactly.
And
practice at the same time.
Yeah, it's practice. Paid practice. So I was doing that already, and I just said, let's convert that into Aloha Friday Jam. And kind of a rip off of a Ukulele Underground.
Ukulele, yeah. No, that's good. No, that's cool.
They do an Aloha Friday Jam, but they're at different times, so you could go to both.
Yes.
And it just stuck, 12 p.m. Pacific every Friday. We're going to do an Aloha Friday Jam. Now my kid knows how to say Aloha Friday. She's like, is it Aloha Friday? Are you going to jam with your friends on Aloha Friday?
So remember that, everybody. Aloha Friday. Yeah. Don't miss
Aloha
Ukulenny
Friday.
on that. It's so awesome.
Yeah, on Facebook. And
that's Facebook, yeah.
That's pretty much what I'm doing. Monday workshop, 6 p.m. Friday, Aloha Friday Jam. And then I would try to reach out to beginners, because a lot of my stuff does move a little fast. So I actually have a monthly beginner jam on the first Wednesday of every month. Cool. And, that's been a small thing, but I just, I just want to put stuff out there. I think nowadays everybody kind of has gone back into their channels. A lot of people have their own jam groups where they're making music together. And, for me, I just want to put something out there that's available to all, just in case you're looking for something else. I'm out there too. So it's been all year long we've been doing this, and I'm still teaching a lot of lessons at home, but it's definitely, less than before.
Right.
So,
Do you do
I don't know.
do you do personal lessons also? Like
Yeah, I'm doing private lessons.
private
My
lessons.
studio,
Okay.
I know, private lessons. My studio is full right now. Has been for some time. I want to make room for more group lessons. I have one group lesson through Mixed Life, which is a cool new website, mixedlife.com. They basically combine like arts and wellness. So there's kind of a wellness perspective, like playing the ukulele or doing poetry will make your life better,
Right.
And I really, truly believe in that. And so when they approached me, I said, yes, we'll do one class Thursday nights. And it's been fun so far. So
That's
that's
awesome.
another thing that I'm looking at is just doing some classes and, trying to do my ukulele thing, but also just live life. We spent 2 months in Hawaii, which is super cool. And we learned that if I can have 2 or 3 free days in the week, we could go on day trips, we could go explore, we could do things that we weren't doing when life was so busy. And even though we're back in California, crying, missing Hawaii.
Oh, of course.
We realized that California is awesome. There's so much to see over here that every Tuesday we're gonna take a trip. We're gonna see more California.
Well, we come
that's-
down here to Long Beach when we open up a little bit and do a thing at DII. That'd be cool. We have a small spot, so we can hang out. That'd be fun.
Just having open space. I mean, for all the busyness, it's
Yeah.
important to have that open space too.
No, absolutely. Awesome. Well, yeah, let me, I know we've been on talking a little bit, but I know since you're an awesome teacher and we have you here, I like to give, I love to give tips or get my guests to give tips on ukulele. So I'll probably just give you the screen and maybe give some maybe beginner tips, maybe 3 if you can. It'd be awesome, because there's a lot of beginners out there right now that are probably watching, and then maybe some things. I don't know, because when I first started, I always wanted to know some stuff, but what would be your tips, I guess?
Yeah, sure. Well, one of my favorite things to kind of go through is like finger picking technique and also improvisation, because kind of like what me and Daniel were just talking about earlier with playing the instrument and having the instrument be a part of your voice, or like kind of inputting your mind into what the ukulele is doing. And a lot of times us beginners play chords, and that doesn't really connect us to the ukulele. Why does a G7 sound like something versus a C sounding like something? Like what makes it different? And so when you start getting into picking, you start to learn why this sounds like this and this sounds like this. Just even going up and down the neck. One thing I've heard is that Hawaiian teachers especially, they start off their keiki, their young ones, with a method called just press. It's like, we're not even going to teach you anything. We just want you to press. Go press a fret somewhere. And do it that way. So when you start to kind of plug yourself into that mode where you're like literally feeling what every note sounds like, then you can remember that, and it becomes a part of your voice. It becomes that whatever you do on the ukulele is part of what you're thinking in your mind. If you've ever seen someone soloing, da 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 da, like how are they doing that? They're singing exactly what they're playing. Da 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 da. Like, how do they know what those notes are? It's because they've practiced it so much that they're like, again, fused. I really like to take the metaphor of like a literal cable coming from your brain into the ukulele. Like, that's what it should be. So in these simple exercises, when I learned these exercises, just watching like Xfinity on demand randomly, there was guitar lessons, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna see what this is. It's this like rocker guitar person, and he's like, this is the first exercise. And that's all it is. It's just 0, 1, 2, 3. And so I start all my students off of that with 0, 1, 2, 3. And the real key here for 0, 1, 2, 3 is that you want to make sure that your finger technique is properly lined up, and that you're showing knuckles when you have these when you're squeezing. So I always try to make sure that that's a part of the technique practice. When you do O or open A, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3, that you're showing knuckles. You don't want to have flat fingers. It's going to make you slow, and it's going to mess up the way you're holding your ukulele. But if you have bent fingers, then you'll be really fast. Kind of like when you're typing, or if you've ever played piano, people want to pretend that they hold a tennis ball and type like that, or play piano like this. That's how you want to be when you're playing ukulele. So even doing that a couple times, oh, 1, 2, 3. And when you do it, really say even out loud or in your head, oh, 1, 2, 3. Because that's going to connect your finger movements into what you're doing on the fretboard. So oh, 1, 2, 3. Then I go to the next string, oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3. And I had a question in one of my classes, like, what do you use to pick with your strumming hand? And I always start with the thumb. And what I try to do in that exercise is make sure that my thumb knows to travel to each of the strings when I change. So I'm on the A string, then my thumb's going to go to the E string, and I'm going to start over. So that also trains my thumb to make sure it's on the right string, and starts calibrating my thumb so I know which one is the A and the E and the C and the G. And then I can do the same thing with my 4 fingers. I know some beginners don't use their pinky at all, so it's always good to also use 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, practice. Oh yeah, another technique thing is to try to keep your fingers down. It's going to help you in the long run to be faster, because if you're playing like this, then it's going to be a lot harder to get back. So you want to keep the fingers really close, and it's a good technique to like kind of keep your fingers down. Be like little spiders. And I always say, like, keep your fingers like close to the fretboard. Like, keep them uncomfortably close. And remember, if you have that friend who like stands too close to you when you're talking to them, like you can smell what they had for lunch. Be like that on the fingers. Like, don't hover like this. Hover really close and get comfortable with being that close without touching a string. And that's going to help you go fast. So with these 2 exercises alone, you can already do so much. And it's always good to also mix them up, like pick a different order. Like if I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, then I can also do something like 4, 1, 3, 2. And that's a good brain teaser. Like, can I control my fingers on that level to just say 4, 1, 3, 2 and do it right? And then finally, what I'll do when it comes to like improvising, there's 2 things that you can do. One, you can learn your scales, where I would do it the same way. Like A string, my first scale is going to be 0, 2, 3. And then my E string is going to be 0, 1, 3. So now I'm talking with the numbers, right? 0, 1, 3. So A string, 0, 2, 3. And then E string, 0, 1, 3. And then C string, 0, 2. So people are like, what is that? And that doesn't make any sense. Do it all in order. That's your major scale. So that's how you learn scales. And when you learn the scales and you start to, use them, you can play along with music. Yeah, you can use that scale. Yeah, and then find your 3, 2, 0. And then on the E string, 0, 1, 3. Yeah. And then on the C string, 0, 2. Then do all of it. then if you don't even want to think about that, then I give people the last thing is I give them the pentatonic scale on the A string. So you can just write down on a piece of paper 03, 5, 7, 10, 12, or all the dot notes. Yeah, all the dot notes.
Oh wow, that's so awesome.
Yeah, and that's it. So, like, if you have the right finger technique, you're able to isolate those important notes that we have when we're jamming, 3-2-0, 3-1-0, or even just the dot notes. And just by doing that, putting on a little backing track and playing some of those notes, you're gonna be closer to your ukulele than you've ever been. You know, because again, why does a G7 sound like this? And why does an F sound like this? We don't really know. But why does 3 sound low and 7 sound high? Oh, I can get that. I can latch on to that idea. Yeah, so try your finger exercises. Doing that every day is gonna be really good for your fingers. And if you keep traveling on down the rabbit hole, you'll start to learn scales. And you'll be able to jam on. That's the goal. Is go play your songs, play your covers, but spend some time to just play. Because I think that's very valuable. And it's what a lot of people tend to miss in the ukulele world. They're like, I know how to do chords, I know how to do songs, what's next? And my answer is just play.
That's
you gotta
awesome.
play.
Well, my thing is every day, if you guys know it, keep on strumming ukulele. But yeah, that is so awesome. Actually, it's funny that you were doing those, because that's how I started. Actually, I did the 1, 2, 3, 4 because I knew that my pinky wouldn't work, and I needed to get that pinky to work. And then now I got it.
You gotta get to work. If you want to get to next level playing.
Yeah, you have to get that. You have to be able to do this with your pinky. It's like crazy.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you, Ukulele. That was awesome. Actually, we have some. I actually showed this before, but Ronald Nogras at Ukulenny is amazing. Awesome.
What's up? That's our chief photographer in the Bay Area. Shout out Ronald. And
nice.
hope you
Ronald.
get yourself to an off the grid and get some ice cream.
And then Barbara Ann says, sounds great with both of you. Awesome. Thank you, Barbara. So awesome. Brian.
Yeah, real life Barbara Ann, is that right? Barbara
Ann. Yeah. Barbara Ann. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
there
the
you
real
go,
Barbara Ann in the house.
Barbara Ann, there it is. And then we have Brian Aya. He says, wow, beautiful. You guys are fantastic. Awesome, Brian. Also another student of mine. Dina Kennedy, love that. And then Brian Aya, again, practicing now. So excited.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the exciting thing is when you unlock your ukulele and you get these other things. You know, Sarah Mizell has a really cool tutorial she calls Life After the Third Fret. And I think that's so real for beginners. Is like, oh yeah, I've only played this part of my ukulele. How do I get there?
Yeah.
And so when you start to learn the scales, it allows you to play those notes that you were neglecting, and then it inspires you to practice more because now you have more stuff to do. I think
oh yeah, you're on. You know, because like recently, like I've been coming down. Like I always tell people, this is the beginner, this is medium, this is expert. So this is where you're.
That's a misnomer though, because
is it?
I truly believe that you know, it doesn't take an expert facility of the ukulele to play 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 can be just as easy as 7, 8, 9, 10.
You're actually right.
That's where I think the kind of like, you know, shattering the ceiling. You know?
There it is.
Shattering the glass.
No, and that's why we're here.
Ceiling.
You know, honestly, that's why we're here. Yeah, I like to show what's possible instead of, limiting people, because, like one of the things that I did was I made up a 15 minutes of practice, because everybody tells me like, I can't practice, I don't have enough time. I go, well, can you do 15 minutes? That's all you have to do. And like I was like, just go 15 minutes. But then the question is like, what do I do for those 15 minutes? And then like I did mine. Like I have this like routine that I would do every day, just doing the finger exercises. It included strumming, stuff like that. But it would change over time. But I wanted to show people what 15 minutes looks like, and then I did that. And then, just showing examples of what's possible, and that's why I love having you here, Ukulenny.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, it's good to see what other teachers are doing, because it's always, we're all different people, just like we're all different musicians. And so we all have different approaches in how to do our thing, and you're going to learn from a lot of different angles. I think learning music is a lot like, it's like a mystery 3D object, right? And from every angle that you look at it, you're going to uncover a new shadow, a new thing that you're going to see. It's the same object. It's music,
Mm-hmm.
But you can look at it from all these different angles, and it starts to fill your mind with what the object really is. So you can't really overlearn music. You can't learn too much. I think there's an exception where if you're reading a book about it, then maybe you're gonna do too much, because you need to play. But that level of like seeing from different angles and different perspectives is going to ultimately form your version of that 3D mystery object. And I also want to give a shout out. I see that Rick and Barbara Ann is from the Zoom meetings. Shout out to my Zoomers who are here on a Saturday on your off day.
Yay! Wow.
We're off air on Zoom, but we're on here bonus footage with Daniel. So thanks for hosting me on this show. I know you had Abe Lagrimas Jr. earlier.
Yeah, we had.
Last
it was
month.
funny because he was one of like I've been starting it slowly, just because like at the beginning of 2020, everything with like all this live show stuff was brand new, and it was like, how do you do it? How do you get like you're like, whoa, and I know you went through that too. And then, now we're here with like cool HD and all this other stuff. I was like, wow. But yeah, in the beginning it was tough, but now like, it's just fun to bring people on. And the cool thing I like about this is like, if we were to try to do this in person now, I'd have to bring you down, stuff like that. But right now, I feel like we have a really good talk, and we can share a lot of knowledge to a lot more people quickly. And then drive it forward, where the ukulele, because I believe, like you said, the ukulele, what you like about it is you can bring it around with you everywhere, and it's the best teaching instrument, and how you can jam with people like right away. And I find the same thing is like, you can teach a person like song really quick and play along, and they'll be jamming. It's like so crazy.
Yeah, it happens. It all happens so fast. I mean, that's kind of my job as a ukulele teacher. I work with Kala. I'm sponsored by them. I've been with them for the past 5 years. And, we're hopefully going to get back to this, but back when we did road shows, that would be my job. It's like, people would come to the booth, they'd be checking out the stuff. I'd be like, hey, have you played ukulele before? They'd be like, no. I'd be like teaching them in 5 minutes. We'd be jamming. I
love it.
Like, oh my gosh, it's like an infomercial. It's like, I'm really a preacher of the ukulele gospel, and I think when I go say the good news to people, that's what I try to do. I try to do it really quick, because that's the power and the strength of the ukulele, is that immediately, I mean, hand someone a tuned ukulele. That's the other thing, is they have to tune it. So some people get discouraged from that. But hand someone a tuned ukulele and just tell them to go like this. They'll be like, whoa.
And they feel it,
It's kind of like the handpan, right? Handpan, you're just playing it and you're like, I'm already making music.
Yeah,
cool.
It's so awesome. No, it's so good. And the portability, like, I've had the privilege of traveling like to Europe and just bringing my ukulele like different places, or even around here. Just go up to a mountain, play on top of a mountain. It's so amazing. Just sing your heart out, like whatever just do it. Like I've done that before, and I just sang it, and it's so awesome. And just being by yourself, you don't even have to perform. Like singing for yourself, and because I believe people have music in them. The the ukulele is just a medium to get your music or express what you already have inside of you. And that's the beauty of the ukulele. You can just bring it anywhere and express it any way you want to.
Yeah, and I always say, to take that a step further, I always say to my students, like, a lot of people say that the ukulele is a medium, but actually, I like to say in my teaching that it's an obstacle. Because if you think about it, we all have music in our bodies. If we could make music like out of thin air, it would be the most beautiful music because we all have it in our bodies and our minds. But we have to really overcome the obstacle that is the instrument to break it open and actually make music with it. Yeah.
Dude, you just blew my mind right now. That's crazy.
I think there's a lot of credence to the idea that you must master this. Like I always go back to visual art because I'm a terrible visual artist. If I could just master the paintbrush like the great artists do, or master the pen, or master the pencil, or whatever then that makes you the artist that you want to be. You get closer and closer to being wielding the pencil or pen or paintbrush like it's a part of you.
Wow.
And that's what we're all striving for as ukulele players, is can we make the ukulele a part of us versus it's making music on our behalf. It's a surrogate. Like,
no, I got
here,
you.
ukulele, you play these things. No, it's I'm playing through the ukulele.
Right.
And so, not a medium, an obstacle.
Not a medium. Yeah. Well, they say I've read a book and they said you are an instrument. It's not you are an instrument because you have a voice. Even the hands that you use, like when you're beating, that's like your rhythm. Stuff like that. So, wow, that's amazing. You just blew my mind. Wow.
And I want to bring up that thing that you're playing at the top of the mountain because my partner, Jelly, she always gives me a hard time because when we go hiking, when we go on hikes, she brings the water and the food, and I bring the ukulele. So, I'm always carrying a uke and like a tripod to like take my video at the top of the mountain. She's like hauling the water.
I know my partner. She's all, Are you bringing a handpan and a ukulele on our trip? I'm all, yes, we are. That's all I care.
We are. What is to me? It's like, what is the point of traveling without an instrument? Like,
seriously.
How can I leave the house without an instrument?
And it's just those moments. Like I've had so many great moments where I had an instrument with some cool people. Like one time I went into Mount Shasta. I brought both. I'm hiking up Mount Shasta.
Yep, gotta bring both.
And then, like, we're going down the road because they had closed the road, and these Argentinians start coming. I saw a guy with a guitar. We're in the middle of the road going up to Mount Shasta, and then we stop, and I go, hey, let's play. And we started jamming in the middle of the road at Mount Shasta. It was so crazy because they were, like, shocked I had a handpan. I let one guy play that. I pulled out my ukulele and then the guitar, and then all of them just surrounded. We were just hanging in the middle of the street. It was so cool.
Yeah, man. I always bring instruments in the car, and to my detriment sometimes. I've been broken in so many times. Like, I've lost instruments, but, even when I get broken in and someone takes an instrument, I'm like, at least they have it, or somebody else has an instrument that they can play now. So I've forgiven the world that it's cruel and brings people to steal things. But being a side subject, I always try to bring something in the car, and there was a point where I was always having a cajon in the car, which is just too big. It's just like that's too much space. I don't want to take up space with a cajon. Right. But my justification for that was always like, well, what if Stevie Wonder shows up and Stevie Wonder wants to jam? Like,
of course.
I'm not gonna have anything to jam with Stevie Wonder. I need to bring the cajon just in case. And the fact that you bring both is like, well, I'm gonna let someone borrow my uke.
Yes.
And I'm gonna play this.
Yes.
Like, it's funny. Musician life. Like, you're always trying to justify having an instrument with you. Yeah. You gotta have it. I'm waiting in line. I'm playing the ukulele. Waiting in line, and I'm like, this is boring. I could look at my phone, but I'm just gonna practice.
Yeah, exactly.
While My Guitar Gently Weeps by Jake Shimbukuro.
Exactly.
Gotta practice my arrangements.
Of course. Awesome. I see. We're getting close to the end. Let's see if I have it. Does anybody have any questions for Ukulenny? You guys, this is a good moment to do it.
Fire away.
But I'll start with one more, and then we'll. I know you have a little jingle for us, and then maybe we'll jam at the end.
Do I? I don't even know what I'm doing. But
I don't know. Whatever. We could just whatever. We don't even have to play, but. it's just exciting to have you on. It's so rad. What was I gonna ask? Oh, who are your biggest influences? I like that question.
Yeah, well, I just brought him up. Stevie Wonder is like number one on my list.
Really, Stevie Wonder? Wow.
When I hear his music, it's just like absolute musical joy, and I don't know if it's just me being kind of almost like pigeonholing him just because he's a blind artist.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think about when I close my eyes and I make music, how it makes me feel. I can imagine like Stevie Wonder and what it feels like to be able to express himself fully in this musical way. So every time I hear his music, it's just like it really immediately transforms, the mood of the room. And the fact that he plays all the instruments, you can listen to him on drums, on bass, playing like random piano-like instruments. It's just he's really my musical hero, in and out. And yeah, just the messages that he shares too. And then going to the next one is the Beatles, obviously with their library of music and their ability to produce like all sorts of wonderful music. I grew up listening to them because my parents, they're typical Filipino parents listening to 60s folk rock.
Yeah.
And the Beatles were their favorite, and we would do karaoke at the house.
Karaoke.
I remember having like a little Beatles book where we would sing out of the Beatles book, and my parents would play some guitar, and I would sing along, and they would teach me songs. So the Beatles are there, right there, and to go with today, I go to Bruno Mars because Bruno Mars is
he's
like
ripping
the
right
current
now,
like legend. I mean, I you put him up there with Michael Jackson and Prince and James Brown. That being his influences, like he's to me the kind of like the next wave of music. When you think of the greats, like it's gonna be Bruno Mars.
Yeah. Plus, he's a Filipino
Bruno
brother.
Mars is right up there.
All these
Yeah,
Filipino
he's my
brothers.
kuya. So I gotta give it up to him.
That's so
totally.
awesome. Wow, you have some awesome influences, and it really honestly shows in your music, and I definitely feel the vibration from you just playing a little bit with you, and hopefully in the future when we get together we can play a little bit more and jam.
Yeah, we gotta get
stuff.
back to it, man.
Yeah.
Gotta get
But
jamming.
yeah, absolutely. Let's see, do I have any other crazy questions for you? Oh, one last one. Most memorable moment in music. I want to hear this one.
This is hard because there's a lot, and yet I think when you look over the course of your music career, there's like too many like micro moments where it's like, this is the best, this is amazing,
Mm-hmm.
I like to think of maybe one of them, because you did talk about playing on top of the mountain, is when we hiked up Half Dome. This is me and my wife, Jelly. We were hiking up to Half Dome, and it's an incredible journey, like I believe 17 miles round trip.
Is it 17? Oh, wow. I haven't done it.
And like, I thought I was going to die the whole trip. Like, I was like going up the mountain. I was like, my knees were going out. And we were like the back of the pack. We went with friends, and I was like struggling. But I was carrying my ukulele.
Yes.
So, like, so it was part of the journey.
Yes.
Was, making sure that I could bring this ukulele to the top.
Oh my God.
Somewhere in the middle, I got my second wind, and Jelly really, really encouraged me because she was like waiting for me to get up the mountain. So we were both going up this mountain, and finally we get to the part with the cables, and that part is like super easy compared to everything else. So I was excited, and at the top of the mountain, I got to play "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" on a rock.
Wow!
And I think just because music it connects you in so many different senses. You're playing through it, but you're also feeling the vibrations. You're singing through it, and you're getting feedback. You're also feeling what's around you, and the memories that are burned in musically, as we know from like research, like the nostalgia factor of hearing that music and the whole memory of it is really strong. And so I think that might be one of the best times of just like being able to play music in this special magical place at the end of a special magical experience. That's truly a really good thing to remember and come back to. And then the other one that I will say is actually something that's kind of really small in the scheme of things. But like I said, there's micro memories. It's like you just remember these little things that happen. It was me and Bob, and Bob is my good friend. I've played
Bob
music
Marley?
with him for the past.
Just kidding.
No,
I was like,
he's
yes.
a friend of mine. Humble brag. But Bob Frazier, he's a trumpet player. He's really an OG. He's like 77 years old now, and so he's played with everybody. You know, he grew up in Florida, and he played in the Army band. He played with lots of these jazz musicians throughout the eons of time. And we got to playing together about 12 years ago when we were coworkers. We were teaching at the same school. And it's always been a joy to play with him because I feel like we vibe. People say like I have an old soul. And so my old soul and his old soul are like, yeah, we're playing together. This is awesome. Yeah,
like
and
the
he's a
movie
father
Soul.
figure to me. He's brought me through music. So this was one of our early gigs, and we're just playing at a restaurant. And we've played this tune once before, but not really, we haven't really rehearsed it. It's a Miles Davis, the song 4. It's like this classic jazz tune.
Right.
And we're playing it, and out of nowhere, we didn't really rehearse this, but he just starts scatting the song. He's playing it on the trumpet, and he just starts just like I did just there. So I was like, oh, that's what he's doing? I'm playing the guitar, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll scat it too, Like, I don't usually scat, but I was inspired at that moment to scat with him and just like riff off of what he was doing. And it became this whole thing where we're just like scatting and doo-bopping and doing all this stuff. We're taking solos with each other. And the music really just sprouted, organically.
That's
the
awesome.
word organic.
Yeah, I love that.
And it was this thing that we didn't rehearse, and we were just loving it. Like, we were just in the middle of that performance. And like you went to another zone, like you're not worried about what the audience thinks anymore. You're just worried about where the music is bringing you.
Yes.
And you're on a ride,
Yeah. Wow, that's weird.
And I guess, that was, and we always end our our shows with that song, and it always reminds me of that moment. Like, that was like a really high moment where I realized, like, it's kind of like a hashtag music moment. It's just like, man, wow. It's like wow, that's what music can do. And I don't want to like keep talking, but I have to say one more thing because it reminds me of the time.
You're good. You're good. We can go over. I don't care.
Me, Abe Lagrimas Jr. and Neil Chin, who are like my jazz heroes, my ukulele jazz heroes.
God, they're so good.
Abe Lagrimas Jr. and Neil.
Yeah.
I want to be jazz cats like them. They're like true jazz cats. I'm
No,
like
they
I'm
are.
like a jazz passenger. I'm more like a jazz.
Me and you are alike. Me and you are alike for sure.
I love
It's
jazz,
so
but
fun.
I can't be jazz like Abe and Neil. But I was lucky enough to jam with them on a song "Pent Up House," which we have a YouTube video of now. But we did this tune, this arrangement that they came up with at Midwest Uke Camp. This is what we were doing 2 years ago, Midwest Uke Camp with Ben Hassinger and company. And they were just kicking this song around, and they were like, oh yeah, let's do it at the concert. Like, this is how ukulele festivals are awesome. It's like, we don't get to play with each other, but we're going to come up with this arrangement, and we're just going to perform it. Let's do it. So I was like, oh, can I play too? Just show me the changes on the bass. And, eventually we learned it, and they have the hard part, like, and they're doing this thing, and I'm just going boom, boom, boom. Like, that part is so easy. But in the middle of the jam, I got so excited because we were just going it was like fast. It was way faster than we practiced. But they were just killing it. They were just slamming it. And I was like doing this bass line. I was just like feeling it. And I couldn't stop laughing the whole time. And like, I was pretty much like on overdrive where like, if I did anything else, I would have fallen apart. Like, I was playing the bass as fast as I could, and I was laughing, and I couldn't even stop myself from laughing because it was just so good.
It was
and
just
I didn't want
joyful.
To ruin it.
Oh my god!
It was just absolute ukulele joy, and I think it's those music moments that you live for. It's like, I'm used to playing 2 hours or 3 hours at a time, and it's those little moments within the gig that's like, that's why I do it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for moments like that. And they come up more often than not.
More often than not. No, it's so. I
More
get
often than
you.
not.
I get you. Being in
Yeah.
that zone is so amazing,
Right.
and it's
You want to
like,
get back in there.
yeah, you
It's
totally.
addictive.
It's
You wanna
addicting.
get
Yeah,
back.
it's like a drug.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, you're just like, I want to feel like that again. Maybe tomorrow at my next gig.
We have another. We have actually a question. Maury Coles.
Yeah.
How often do you change to low G? Actually, do you play low G or high G? What's your?
I play high G, and it's mostly so I can pretend I'm Troy Fernandez.
Okay, all right.
You know, it's mostly just for that. But there's a lot of cool sounds based on that high G and that high A when I'm doing finger picking that I miss when I'm playing low G. So
Interesting.
I rarely play a low G, especially like performance wise. Like I almost never have it with me. I used to bring 2 ukes to the gig, but it just like every time I would be playing a gig, it would be like, do I want to take the time to change to low G? Not really. But I have one hanging on the wall. I love picking it up and just playing it. And, you know, the vibrations are different when you have a lower sound. So
Yeah.
it really does bring out a little bit more mellowness and more tranquility, I think, when you're playing
Like
a low
that?
G. Yeah. Is it like this? Yes, it is like that, Daniel. Good one. Yeah, and I'm not a low G basher or anything. I love people who play low G. I'm not against low G. It's just for me personally, the things I play, and because I'm doing a lot of reggae strumming and I do a lot of like rhythm, it's better. It's better for me and my style to play high G.
Yeah.
And then I add the U bass afterwards. So.
No, there it is.
Yeah.
Totally. No, it's weird. Everybody has that question usually, and honestly, I like both. I start out with the high G, and then I don't know. I just stuck with the low G. They say like as you get older, because I'm turning 50 this year, the lower registers. Yeah, I know. The lower. Happy birthday. Da, da. Not yet. But they say like, and I've heard this in like a study, like as you get older, the lower registers sound better. Like it's like weird, like when you have that low bass. I did it to my dad. I go try a low G, and he goes, "Oh, I love that sound," and he's like, oh,
Yeah, that's funny. In your
Yeah.
old age, you start to appreciate more. Well, I
More.
mean, that's sort of also the natural kind of degradation of our hearing. You know, you lose the high frequencies first.
Yeah.
So you do start to appreciate the low
yeah,
frequencies.
There it is.
As
I
we
go
getting
as,
older.
as we
Yeah,
age,
yeah.
we just get better.
As we
you know?
age, yeah, we just lower. Pretty soon, we'll just all be playing bass.
And then Dina Kennedy says, "Great stories, Lenny. You're awesome." Those are awesome stories. So, yeah,
It's
I wish.
cool to have stories. I've never been a big story person. Like I don't have a lot of like I don't do a lot of crazy things. Like
Are you
I'm not like a
kidding?
daredevil or anything. But I do appreciate that I can recount some really fun things as the course of being a musician. I think
Yeah.
it's just
You
it's
do
just
one
so
of the
awesome.
scariest things ever is performing in front of people. That's like the scariest thing for anybody.
Scary? I guess. Is it?
I think
Don't
so.
freak me out. I might have to. Don't tell me it's scary. I don't even know that it's scary.
For me, it is. I like every time. Like I'm like, oh, I get a pit in my stomach. Am I gonna do good? You know, you're like, ah.
Well, what I always tell my folks is that if you're not nervous, then you don't care enough. So
Yeah.
The nerves are.
No,
a good
that's
thing.
true.
Never perform without nerves because I think that's not a way to go. That leads to complacency. You don't want to be a complacent performer. You just have to know where to put the nerves. You know, it's like when you're nervous about. And what are you nervous about anyway? Like, if you're nervous about crashing and burning, I've crashed and burned too many times to be nervous about that anymore. Like, I've definitely had a few clunkers in my day. So don't be nervous about that. Just have nerves and use them to your advantage. You use that excited energy to play the best that you can because that's all you can do.
You said it perfectly. Actually, people are so scared of messing up. And honestly, like right now, I just did day 90 of my 100 days of Ook.
Man,
so
see?
10 more left.
You've been performing a lot.
Yeah, and one of the things I did is like doing 1 takes. So whatever happens, and if I mess up, and
Yeah.
it shows. It's awesome,
That's-
but
That's
it's
awesome
so
because
freeing. It's so freeing.
yeah. I was gonna say like that's cool because then there's no pressure to edit yourself anymore. You're just
No.
like, I did what I did, and it's done. And I'd say that a lot about recording. Like people are afraid to record because they don't want it to sound bad or they want it to sound perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to say that a recording, the root word being a record, it's a record. It's a
Yes.
record of what you did at 2:00 p.m. on May 1st, 2021.
Yes.
That's a record of that. It doesn't speak to it only speaks to who you were at that moment. It's not going to speak to you today, you tomorrow, you the next day. Like, I listen to all these recordings that I did in high school. Oh my God.
I was going to say, do you listen to
my little voice, my little whisper singing, my little emo guitar. And I think that's a great record of what I was back then. It's part of who I am now, but people who are going to be embarrassed about old records.
Well, old records, yeah.
It's just a record of that particular time and space.
No, that's awesome. No, I'm glad you said that because, a lot of people don't like, I don't want to do it or whatever. Actually, it's funny because not until this 100-day, I hadn't really recorded myself. I did live shows and stuff like that, but I wasn't like trying to record, I guess. But now, doing it, I'm like, wow. But it went quick, man. I'm like, oh, it's pretty awesome. And I learned so much. One of the things that I was doing is writing each song over. Like I would take yours and rewrite it, and I found like that in itself. In learning a song is awesome because I see all the patterns, like how the chords go and all that other stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then you read the lyrics and you were singing it wrong the whole time. And
Dude, that still happens. I still have a lot of wrong lyrics, but you move on. It's like. And I got to shout out Cynthia, our good ukulele sister. Queen of
absolutely,
ukulele. She's the true YouTube star here, and her starting the idea of the 100 days in the ukulele community, that was really her personal thing, and it led to so many great opportunities for her. And she's passing the buck along to everybody who's currently in 100 days. I can't say enough about how awesome the things that Cynthia is doing.
Oh, absolutely.
How awesome those things are. And it's like you just learn so much valuable stuff by the repetition of doing it. Like, when you're learning songs, you learn verse, chorus, and you go like, oh, that's how the chorus is related to the verse.
Yeah, exactly.
You start to see the same patterns in different songs. And it's just a really revealing process where it's nice for everybody to have that kind of focus.
Nice. One of my old students, but he's rad ukulele player, Gary Gattori. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
He's saying hi.
It says the how's it.
How's it getting? Oh wait, Dina, great tip for writing it out for yourself. Thank you, Dana. All right, thank you, Dina. Wow, she was giving me kudos. Nice. I was like, wow. Nice. It's always weird when I get that. I'm like, oh.
Gotta give credit where credit's due.
Yeah. So we're towards the end. Does everybody want to hear any music from Ukulenny? We're over the time now, but I know you've been talking a lot. I know you're probably tired. Do you have anything else you're going on today?
No, man. This is my it's kind of my day off. It's nice to be able to kick back on a Saturday and
nice, just chill out.
We'll probably get out. It looks like the sun is shining now. Maybe we'll get outside for a little bit.
Yeah. I do a Nuke social after this. I borrowed that from Cynthia and Cynthia. Honestly, Cynthia did really inspire me because when I hit that that video and I just didn't realize it because I met her 3 years ago and we talked about this. I was like, how did you get so successful at YouTube? And I saw it. It was just consistency. And then then I was like, wow. And then all that stuff happened there. And I was just like, wow. And that was an inspiration. I was like, wow. Because I saw the whole thing. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing. And she's so humble. And the big thing that, we've had talks about is she's the type of person she wants to teach a lot of people instead of
yeah.
What's that saying? What's that saying?
Yeah,
Don't feed a person. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
She wants the world to play ukulele. She's definitely of that mind.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, she's doing it. No, Patreon, Cynthia Lynn.
Patreon, Cynthia Lynn. So actually, we'll just end it there. I know it's your relaxing day, and save your energy for that.
Oh no, people are saying play. And,
they're saying play. All right, here we go. You got something?
Right, so,
I'll give you the screen. I'll give you the screen, and maybe I can play along.
Let's play this one. And this is gonna be F minor. So. If everybody wants to play along, yeah, I would say I'll give everybody the pentatonic scale since 02, 4, 7, 9, 12. There we go. 02, 4, 7, 9, 12. And then if you want, you could also do E.
Okay, sick.
Second fret. And then E, actually E02. I'm just writing it in the YouTube chat.
Oh yeah, good.
And then C1. Okay, there you go.
C1.
So those are your jam notes. And this is one of my biggest YouTube video is This Love by Bob Marley. And I was just playing this on my porch back in the old house at El Sobrane. And wasn't thinking too much of it, just really liked the song. And everyone was like, love your reggae vibes on this, and this is awesome. And, it's got over 1 million views now. And it's my most famous YouTube video.
Oh, my God. 1 million views?
Yeah, 1 million views. Yeah. And, it only took 10 years, so it's fine.
1 million.
Exactly, 1 million views. Yeah. And so I always love performing this song, and I do think it's in a really good place for my voice. And it's just fun because over the years I've learned how to put it in loops. So I'm actually gonna try to do a little loop thing, and Daniel's gonna take a little solo on it. So I'll have plenty of time to rock out the arrangement. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in, and I Wanna Love You. So I'm gonna start with a instrumental part. I'll do the whole performance.
Yes.
Hope you like it. I wanna love you and treat you right. I wanna love you every day and every night. We'll be together with a roof right over our heads. We'll share the shelter of my single bed. For Jah provide the bread. Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling? Oh, I wanna know now. I got to know now. I am willing and able. So I throw my cards on your table. I wanna love you. I wanna love and treat you right. I wanna love you every day and every night. We'll be together with a roof right over our heads. We'll share the shelter of my single bed. We'll share the same room. For Jah provide the bread. Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling? Oh, oh, oh. Oh yes, I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I know now. Oh yes, I know, yes, I know, yes, I know now. I am willing and able. So I throw my cards on your table. I wanna love you. I want to love and treat you right. Go ahead, Danny. Take it away then. love and treat you right. I wanna love you every day and every night. We'll be together with a roof right over our heads. We'll share the shelter of my single bed. We'll share the same room. For Jah provide the bread. Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling? Oh. Yeah. Give it up, y'all. Make some noise. Somebody scream.
Here we go, teacher.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so awesome.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
yeah.
what? Oh, you caught me off guard on that solo. I was like, oh, where the key in my hand? I'm like, oh.
I gave you the notes, man. What
Yeah, I
happened?
know you did. I was like, oh yeah, here we go. I was trying to figure out the lower ones. I was like, where's the other one? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'll give you the rest of the scales later.
Well, you know what? We should do a collab sometime and do something cool
Yeah,
with like all
let's
our
do it,
students
let's do
and all that. So
Yeah, that would be super fun. I know
Ukulenny.
we're trying to plan a flash mob in the next couple of months. Me and my Zoom crew. I still haven't got the details down, but I'm gonna do that. at some
all
point.
right, I know I'm watching you. I see a lot of good stuff. I always steal a lot of stuff from you, and thank you, honestly, Ukulenny. Thank
Yeah.
you for your music and thank you for sharing. And I think that's what it's all about. Right
Oh yeah,
now.
thank you for taking the time to put this series together and to get me on the show here. I'm glad we're able to talk. It's been too long.
Yeah, it
I
has.
see you on the internet too, but it's funny how fast the internet got back to its old ways of like not really seeing each other or talking to each other. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we have this space where we actually get to have a conversation. And,
No, it's so good right
see
now.
what's
and I'm
up.
just like-
So it's cool. It's
I predict more in the future. I know you have some big plans, and I think all like it's cool that we're connected like this with the community, and like we're mind melding, and then it's gonna be more things with I just see it like you have the Mastermind
Yeah.
Alliance, and people are just going, let's do it, and then you get them all together.
Yeah.
Oh
totally,
my God,
totally.
it's gonna be
I'm
amazing.
I'm excited for that. I mean,
I'm
it's
excited
been
for
so
this.
fun to see what our fellow ukulele players are doing during this time. So yeah, hopefully we can kind of carry some of these new skills into the future.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you for everybody that's been on the show. Thank you to Ukulenny. This has been a great, awesome, amazing. Wow, I'm just so excited. I have a social after this if you guys want to. It's
yeah.
on our Zoom call. If you want to get on Ukulenny, that'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, send me the details on that.
I'll send you.
Maybe
I'll send you
pop
the
in.
link if you want to
Yeah,
jump
send me the
on
link.
and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
us jamming and stuff like that, and then I have like whatever.
fun.
But
Nice.
but anyways,
I like it.
that's all we have for you today, you guys. And like always, every day, keep on strumming ukulele. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. Have a good one, you guys.